Alright, welcome. So it's been quite some time since I've done a build video on the channel. I just wanted to do a quick updated build video for Medusa. Now I have already done a build video for her for season 3, however in that video I covered only a golden bow build for Medusa back when golden bow was buffed and you can build it on anybody. And I didn't talk about any other builds in that video. So I just want to do, an updated build video for Medusa that should be reliable for quite some time. So let's get into it. I'm not going to cover her abilities. I've already done that. Most people know that she's more of an ability-based hunter. She does a lot of damage from her abilities. However, you do not want to go into like all power and pin. You still want attack speed because she's still a hunter and your auto attacks still hit very, very hard. So enough of that. Let's get into the build. As you can see, I already have Transcendence here. It's pretty standard to go into Transcendence as a very first item if you're more of an ability-based hunter, kind of similar to Neith. So we can go into that. The only case where you might not go into Transcendence as your very first item would probably be a game mode like Arena, where you're sharing the entire menu wave with all your teammates, and the chances are you have maybe 1 or 2 mages on your team, and they can clear the waves faster than you can. Or you can just not care. Maybe you don't feel like the stacks are not too important since the passive is based off of mana. So as long as you keep leveling up, you gain mana as you level up, and it can scale with you that way. So if you don't want to go into Transcendence, another option that you can go into is you can go into a Bluestone Pendant. That way it can actually enhance your ability damage, and then you can go into Boots and then the rest of your build. Up to you. But for now, I'm just going to keep it simple, go into Transcendence. Next, going into Boots. Now, somewhat recently, as of this recording, they have buffed the Ninja Tabby Boots. They gave it another 5% more attack speed, and now it has plus 100 mana. Now, of course, with Transcendence passive being based off of mana, this is a little bit more physical power. So you can go into this if you really want to, or you can just stick with Warrior Tabby. Both are fine. I'm just going to go into Warrior Tabby for now. Now from here, it's a perfect opportunity to go into a lifesteal item. You can go into either Aussie. It's very cheap, and it also gives you a nice plus 15 physical penetration. Since it will be a little bit until you can get another penetration item. So you can go into this, very cheap and efficient for what it does. Or you can go into one of my favorites, Soul Eater, for more attack speed, more lifesteal, and the passive also gives you additional movement speed once you have all your stacks going, and a really nice burst heal once you drop below 25% health, as long as you have, your stacks, of course. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up Aussie. Now for your next item, there's a couple different things you can do here. You can go straight into Ken's, and then go into your penetration item of choice, like Executioner or Titansbane. Or you can do it backwards. You can go into Executioner first because you feel like you need the protection shred faster, and then you can go into Ken's, and then last item, whatever you want. But for now, I'm actually going to go into Ken's first, and then go into Titansbane. Now, some people might not know the difference between Titansbane and Executioner. Titansbane is seen as has more of a bursty effect to it, right? You do not have to build up penetration stacks. Whereas Executioner, while it does give you that attack speed, there's sort of like a ramp up time since there are a total of 3 stacks. You have to start building up stacks, and then you can actually reap the benefit from it. As well as the good thing about Executioner is as long as you have a physical teammate that's attacking the same target that you are, they can reap the benefit of having those Executioner passive stacks on that enemy, and they can do more damage. Hopefully that all makes sense. As well as the Titansbane actually does the 33 physical penetration on structures and objectives, so you do more damage. Whereas Executioner, you will not be applying stacks on a tower or a structure, things like that. So for now, I'm just going to go into Titansbane. Now for your last item, there are a couple of different things that you can do. It's all personal preference. You can go into a crit item if you want to just finish it off with Deathbringer or Wind Demon Mouse, whatever, you can do that. Or if you want to bump up your attack speed a little bit more and add a little bit more flavor to your build, there are a couple of attack speed items that you can do for that. For one, you can go into Haste of Mentalis. So that way, between Haste of Mentalis and your passive, you can easily, just strafe around your target and not have to really worry about the movement speed debuff when you go and auto somebody. So you can see, very slippery Medusa. You could do something like that. Or if you don't want to go into Haste Mentalis, you can end it with the Oboe. This allows you to do a lot more AoE damage. It's really good in team fights where the enemy team is all kind of huddled around their Phoenix or their tower or whatever. You start throwing out basic attacks, and there's going to be chain lightnings everywhere, and it really benefits having all this physical power in your build, so that way your Oboe does a lot more damage. As you can see, it's plus 50% of your total basic attack power, along with the 30 additional damage there. So you can do a lot of just spread damage with this item, and you can have a lot of fun with it. That's pretty much it for the build. Some people might wonder, what about the Bloodforge? It offers a lot of physical power, which is helpful for Medusa. The thing about Bloodforge, in my opinion, is it's really expensive. So let's say if you try building it in place of Aussie, you're gonna be very behind your build compared to the enemy hunter. Now, if you're snowballing like crazy super early on and you have all this gold, you have all these kills, and you can easily afford this, then sure, I can see you buying this early on. But for me, I feel like this is more of a luxury item. And maybe also like a late game item. So maybe you finish your entire build, whatever, you go into Oboe, then you can maybe go back, sell Aussie for Bloodforge. You can do something like that if you really want to. That way you have tons of physical power and you have a lot of attack speed with this build. So you could do something like that. That's a very basic build for Medusa. Hopefully it was helpful for those of you, interested in a Medusa build. You can also apply this type of build to other ability-based hunters like Neith, maybe Uller, gods like that. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the build video. Again, hopefully it's helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.